Yeah, so we do have a long weekend coming up. Yeah, we do. Yeah. Yeah, this is indeed the Labor Day weekend. And you want it off. Yeah, but how much labor do you really do? I mean, let's spade a spade, you know? Yeah, all right, yeah. Yeah, enjoy. Bye. All right, okay. Hey, welcome to a very pleasant day, albeit a little bit cooler maybe for this time of year than normal. But this is, of course, Season 4, Episode 19 of Niagara 411 Live with Sterry. We are fueled by Gales Gas Bars. We are supported by Verge Insurance Brokers, as well as Ace Alignment and Hartzell Marine, powered by WeeStreem, Canada's premier streaming service, and ensconced in this lovely classic pub-style environment at Fiddler's Pour House at 149 St. Paul Street, St. Catharines, as the construction continues down here in construction. We have that season that starts in the spring and it lasts all summer long called construction. It's never finished. But anyway, come on in. We have an interesting show coming up for you today. I like to think we have an interesting show coming up for you every time we do this, every couple of weeks. But we're going to be hearing from a young lady who has really kick-started a second career for herself after teaching overseas for many years. I think we all know people that have people that they know that have taught English or whatever it is in lands across the pond, and this gal has turned it into something of an entrepreneurial style business. And we're going to be talking to her about how she did that and her new character and how she kind of put that together. I think that's kind of cool, kind of interesting. Also, there was a really bold break and enter and theft at Subaru Niagara this past week, last couple of days. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to have a guest on from their GM of that place, because there's some things that just are different than your natural grab and run kind of thing. Anyway, those things and a lot of other stuff going on. The boys are back in town, and we'll kick that off in just a minute. Stay with us. We are. Kevin, I would just like to ask you right off the top if you could reduce the volume in my left ear just a little bit. That would be awesome. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Jack, co-founder of WeeStreem, Canada's premier streaming service, also executive producer and founder of this program, Niagara 411 Live with Sterry. Glad to have you here on this August the 30th. Where has the summer gone?
I know, Lee. Also, you didn't put there my list of accolades. Coach of the Welland Optimist Club U9 Boys Soccer Club, and
I couldn't remember all that.
Oh, we wrapped up last weekend, and it was a great season, but always the sign that the end of summer is upon us, right?
You are coach of the... Run this by me again?
Well, Alex, our son Alex, he's 9 years old, and he plays soccer there with the Welland Wizards program, and I threw my hat in the ring and said, sure, I'll coach, along with another friend of ours, Ben LeBlanc.
Wow.
So thank you very much, Coach Ben and Coach Kevin. And it was a good season.
How was your season?
It was a lot of fun. The season was a lot of fun. I get to meet some great, interesting boys and some families from across Niagara, and we had a blast. And hopefully I get a lot of the boys on my team again. We had one guy, Lee, and I mean, doesn't this just talk about the multicultural universe we live in? This guy, Makar, I'll tell you this story. Makar, he's from Ukraine. Okay. And he fled Ukraine and ended up in Niagara.
All right.
So he signs up for soccer, and his English isn't that great. You know, he's learning every day and getting a little better. And he's also a little shy, given the situation, right? Totally understand that. So the first couple of weeks, we're asking guys, okay, who wants to play what position? And, of course, you're looking for a goalie. Who wants to play goal? Well, after the third week, Makar finally puts his hand up, or Maker puts his hand up and goes, I'll play goal. So, okay, fine, Maker, you go in net. So he goes in net, And the first shot, the guy does like a two-hand dive like you see in the World Cup. I turned to the coach like, where'd we find this kid?
And how old is this boy?
He's 9.
9.
So at halftime, he comes over. I go, Maker, did you play goal? Do you play goal? He goes, yes, 3 years. I trained goalie Ukraine. Turned around to the team and said, all right, we got ourselves a goalie. Yeah, we got ourselves a goalie.
Oh, isn't that awesome?
Yeah, it was great meeting Maker and his brother and all the kids and created some interesting bonds, not just for ourselves, but for all the kids. It's always fun.
Now, how does your son react to having a dad as a coach? That can be kind of an interesting dynamic.
He's okay now. I would say
okay?
when he was real young, there was a little bit of that resistance that you see where it's like, I don't want my dad out here. I don't want to listen.
Yeah.
But now it seems to be no problem.
Okay. All right. Well, good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. Congratulations on a
There you go. Sign of the end of summer, right?
on a fun season. Yeah.
Soccer wrapping up, the CNE in Toronto, and then, of course, everybody's coming back to Brock University and Niagara College.
Indeed. And that's, excuse me, a little bit of what we were alluding to on the introduction to the show here. A couple of songs come to mind. Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting, and the boys are back in town. Okay, welcome to a brand new school and education year. And there was a big brouhaha already before classes even get underway. This is kind of the week that the university kids come to sign up and get their dorms ready and get their rooms set and party. Well, it happened in Feulled. They're investigating already a large Feulled party with assaults. Detectives from the region investigating a big party on Winterbury Boulevard in Feulled that led to 3 people, count them, 3 people being assaulted. All right, so they responded to this home on Winterbury for a report of a large party. Surprise! Multiple officers attended to assist in dispersing the crowd of over 200 people. They say persons, I'm sorry, I still say people. The crowd was found to be a mix of young adults. Really? Yes. 18 to 20 years of age and teens. Some people in attendance were also believed to be from outside the Niagara region. No. Pardon the sarcasm. Investigation determined that it was a planned party with entertainment. They even provided a DJ and, surprisingly to no one, underage drinking. As the party was dispersed, pockets of partygoers continued to loiter on nearby streets. So 12:13 in the morning on the 27th now, they received a call regarding an assault that had just occurred. Now, this is where it gets serious and not funny at all. In the area of Silver Maple Road and Winterbury Boulevard, officers attended a home, met with 3 victims suffering from injuries related to being punched, kicked, and stomped. The 2 female victims, there were 2 female victims. Females assaulted by this bunch, 59 years old and 28 years old respectively, and a 27-year-old male, were assessed and treated at the scene by Niagara Emergency Service paramedics. The initial investigation determined that a group of party goers had been found trespassing on the victim's property. When they were told to leave, the group of 10 people began assaulting one of the female victims. Her family and a friend came to her aid. They were also assaulted. The group fled prior to the police arrival. Suspect 1, black male, 7 to 19, 5'9", 10, slender, dreadlock-style hair, wearing black sweatshirt, red gum-style shorts, black balaclava, ski mask, eye and mouth openings. A ski mask, though, with like, why are you wearing that?
Yeah.
This isn't a normal university party, is it, where you wear a balaclava with eye and mouth openings? Okay. Suspect 2, black female, 7 to 19, black hair, 2 large braids extending to her waist, wearing a black mesh off the shoulder top and a white short skirts. Investigation is signed to the detective office.
Yeah, the rest is just general legal
It's
speak.
just jumble bumble, yeah.
So, I mean, if you read in one of the comments here, Lee, from Kelsey Linbaugh, who
Kelsey
obviously
says,
lives in the area.
Yeah, Kelsey says nothing will happen to those kids. They'll get a slap on the wrist. The justice system's a freaking joke. I know someone very close to me who was assaulted just going for a late night walk, and the cops did absolutely nothing, as these individuals were said to have an alibi by their parents. That is a conflict of interest, as the parents will defend them no matter what. You know.
Well, look, she continues. I even have video footage of these individuals.
Yes. The person that was assaulted was seriously injured with stitches and a forehead split open almost. Little punks walk away scot-free. Kevin, I remember a number of years ago when we were operating under another flag and another banner in traditional radio, there was a large number of people involved in and a large number of discussions about the homecoming, if you will, of university students, and it centered around Brock University because the fathers of the university, fathers and mothers of the board, or however the whole thing fleshes out, including the student unions and whatnot, we're going to really make a concerted effort to soften the, for the lack of a better word, assault on the community that happens every year when university students come to town. It's obvious that those initiatives have not necessarily been successful. And I feel for all of the people that do live in an area where there are residences for students that come in. It's always the same story. It's always the same thing, that the few ruin it for the many. Melissa Phillips says our system needs to start charging youths that are fully aware of consequences as adults. Stop protecting kids in their late teens. They know they can get away with it, and it's not going to stop until hard changes in jails scare them straight. And unfortunately, I have a feeling that Melissa has a point. Until there are consequences, there's not going to be a change in behavior. What gets rewarded or ignored gets repeated. What gets challenged gets changed. Has been my experience. And they wonder why they get stereotyped. Total disgrace. Wonder if their parents are proud of their actions. Yeah, their parents must be so proud. Lisa Luterno says, my first thought when I read Feulled was, it must be Winterberry. Isn't that sad if you're living on that street? Always that area is so sad. If you live on one of those streets, I'm telling you, if I could afford it, I'd move.
No,
you know it's going to happen every year.
I have friends that live on Winterberry, and they love it. I asked them if it's a problem. At the same time, you ask any of these three people that got assaulted, if you ask them if they like all the Brock students living there, and absolutely not.
No.
So I've heard both sides of it.
So I guess there are some people that just love the...
Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I've got two adults that are raising families right in that area, and they never really complain about the issues. And yet, you've got people going to City Hall in Feulled, every week, and especially this time of year, saying it's got to stop. You got to crack down. It's hard.
But to rewind a little bit, I am confused about these two suspects, a black male and female, with the male wearing a mask, wearing a balaclava with exposed eyes and mouth. I mean, it's not wintertime. He wasn't wearing it because of the weather. 17 to 19 years of age, 5'9" or 5'10". Okay, so that's university age-ish. Dreadlock style hair. I mean, don't judge people by their hair. I know we learned that in the 60s. But the uniform was odd. Black sweatshirt, red gym-style shorts. Okay, so far so good. Black balaclava ski mask with eye and mouth openings. Why?
Like, was he wearing this at the party? That would freak me out. If I was at a party and there was a guy wearing a ski mask or in a balaclava.
Yeah, wouldn't you ask him to either leave or...
Yeah, I'd find somewhere else to be.
Tell me who you are.
Yeah, like, why are you disguising who you are? It seems weird. Anyway, it's a big one. It's an ongoing issue in Feulled that honestly, I don't know the solution to, and if people knew the solution, we would have already implemented it. So,
but it happens in the most, not just in St. Catharines. I mean, we're not just tarring Brock University with with the brush. It happens in all university towns. I know when I lived in Winnipeg for a number of years, they have two universities there, University of Manitoba and Winnipeg University, and they always had issues there. Queen's University in Kingston lived in that community as well. The engineering students go purple and go crazy every August and September. I mean, Kingston or Kitchener, Waterloo, you got Western and in London.
No, I lived right there. Waterloo and Laurier are a block apart, and I lived right in between them. I've been to lots of parties there.
And the story is always the same. And all of the kids are there, and I know they're adults, but they're kids to us. But they're there, and for some, it's the first taste of being on their own and freedom that they've had ever, and a lot of them don't know how to deal with it. They just they blow the roof off the dump, and unfortunately, it happens all too often. And in a case like what happened in Feulled, people get hurt, and that's not. I understand fun, I get it, but when people start getting assaulted physically and get hurt, that's
I'm embarrassed to see that the first person that was assaulted appeared to be a 59-year-old female.
59-year-old woman. Like, come on.
Like, really?
You're gonna.
I know.
Now,
it's brutal.
Now, again, you don't know what her actions were, but the thing is, it was her property. If it was my property, I'd be a little bit wound up too.
Now, Lee, coming up in just a couple of minutes, I want to investigate further this smash and grab or whatever it was at Subaru Niagara, because they used something called like a glass popper.
I read that in the article, and that's what caught your attention as well as mine. Is what's glass?
That? So we're going to talk to Devin Kaulback, who's the general manager of Subaru Niagara, in just a couple of minutes. But Lee, I think we have a minute or two here to thank our sponsors, and then we got Devin ready to go.
Indeed we do. Gales Gas Bars Limited, locally owned and operated for 3 generations, continues to support this program without reservation. It's always wonderful to have people that support what you do, irrespective of whether it might be something that's on their agenda or not. And not once has, any of our sponsors for that matter, but Gales is our premier sponsor, ever said, hey, I wish you wouldn't talk about that. I mean, we've talked about all kinds of things that are sensitive in their industry, like gas prices, for example. And we've addressed those things directly and all that goes with that. And Gales has always been unwavering in their support of us. As a matter of fact, it was Jessica Friesen, the president and owner of Gales, that highlighted a story for us that just took off, and that was the story of Henry and Bella, the therapy dog. And Jessica kind of put a bug in my ear, said, this might be something that could be something. And boy, was she right. There's a story that just absolutely went crazy. So for all the input and support of us as well as Niagara, thank you to Gales Gas Bars Limited. Also Verge Insurance Group, Blake Shirk, owner Mark Shirk, and they have been owners operators of this Niagara-founded insurance brokers company forever here in Niagara. Well, almost forever, since 1953. I was born in 54, I guess it was, so I've been around forever too. Anyway, thank you to Verge Insurance, the brokers as well. Our 2 newest sponsors, Hartzell Marine, Dave DeGrave of Hartzell Marine, legend boat dealer in Niagara, as well as Mercury's, and they're on Ormond Street in Feulled. So for all of your marine needs and wants, by all means, go in and talk to Dave and his crew at Hartzell Marine on Ormond Street. And also to our good friend Janice Purdy at Ace Alignment. Good for what ails you: wheel alignments, brakes, and suspension, motor vehicle inspections, and whatever your new or old or vintage car or truck requires. That is the place for you to go. There's a couple of guys you want to talk to, or just even one of them will look after you. Darren Miller, the head mechanic, as well as Matt Crompton, the senior mechanic at Ace Alignment. So to Ace, Hartzell, Verge Insurance, and Gales, thank you so much. And also our pal Kevin Neufeld and his gang at Beau Chapeau Hat Shop on Queen Street in downtown Niagara Falls. We appreciate the fact that you keep me comfortably sheltered from those harmful UV rays all summer and winter long. Beau Chapeau Hat Shop. Stop in if you're downtown in Niagara-on-the-Lake anytime over the summertime. With us now is Devin Kaulback, General Motors Subaru Niagara. And there is the picture that showed up. Kevin just put it up of the thieves, the break and enter pictures that happened on Sunday morning, early Sunday morning, about 4:30 in the morning at Subaru Niagara. Devin, good day. How are you?
Hey guys, thanks for having me. I'm good, thank you.
Has anything like this happened to you before in your years in the automotive industry?
No, we've been very lucky over the years. Helped open up the store over 10 years ago, and nothing like this before. Even at our other stores in Niagara, nothing like this.
So tell us exactly from your recollection or to the best of your knowledge what happened.
So there were I think 3 people in total. They were driving 2 cars. They did rob. There was a cannabis store just by the 7-Eleven on Lake Street just before us.
Right.
And then they decided to stop at our location for whatever reason. There's an entrance door between the Pizza and our dealership, and that's where they broke the glass to get in, right around 4:30 in the morning.
Okay, now what is a glass popper? That's something that you said they broke the glass. How do they do this?
Yeah, so that entrance door, it's like a double pane of glass. It's pretty thick. It's designed to withstand certain impact, and you can see him use some kind of device that essentially pops the double planes, and then you're able to kind of push the glass kind of free, and that's how they got in.
So it's a pretty specialized tool then that they're using. These people didn't seem to be amateurs then.
Yeah, you can almost see like a flash of light or a spark or something, and then you see all the glass kind of shatter after that happened. So. And
they stole a vehicle. What did they do? Take some keys that were there and then go out into the yard and take a vehicle?
Yeah, there were some keys. They were still kind of hidden, and they spent about 10 to 15 minutes within our dealership. And they were obviously checking keys and seeing if something flashed, and one of the ones flashed, and they got inside of that car. So there was 2 cars, 3 people. The extra person is the one that drove off in that car.
So in your analysis, this was something that they'd planned to do.
Yeah, definitely planned to do. I don't think it was our location that they planned to hit, but in proximity to where the first kind of robbery took place. 3 weeks ago, I understand that also BMW and Audi, which is close to us, they both got hit as well, and then the same people driving the black Honda Civic that's seen in the video.
Right.
They also took 2 cars from a dealership in Toronto yesterday as well.
Okay, one of the things was this the bunch that in the article it mentioned they were looking for like pin pad machines and things of that nature? Is that one of the reasons they were breaking into these businesses?
Yeah, they did take one of our debit machines. We called the bank and had it canceled before anything happened with it. But from the glass window where our service desk is,
right,
they may have seen the machine flashing or whatever circumstance, and that could have been why they chose us. What
possible benefit is there to somebody that steals a debit machine? What are they hoping? Are they hoping to get the records of debit, like code numbers, or what is it trying to get out of here?
Good question. That's over my head.
Mine too.
I think there's a way for them to see kind of recent transaction information and whether they can kind of reroute or make purchases using those numbers. I mean, something like that. But I'm not sure.
So I'm trying to wrap my head around whether these guys are actually just thieves of the moment or whether they're actually car thieves. I'm not quite sure what to call them.
Yeah, I would definitely say it's a combination of the two. I mean, since everything was posted, so the silver vehicle that was found, that was stolen, or that was in the video.
Yeah.
That was stolen from like a service facility that's in Pickering.
Okay.
So they've hit between 5 to 10 dealerships and obviously other businesses too.
Wow. And I guess it's common knowledge. Anybody that has dealt much with car dealerships, it's common knowledge that there is usually a cupboard or a pegboard or something somewhere where the keys are kept for all of the vehicles that are on the lot or available at the dealership for test drives, etc. So that must have been what they were looking for, trying to get in and find where this keyboard was, and make off with something.
Yeah, I mean that like the good thing that was kind of on lockdown, and we had heard of certain kind of circumstances like this happening. So, I mean, those were all good and protected. I mean, the other thing is a lot of new vehicles have kind of like tracing technology now. So that is something maybe they wanted to avoid the newer vehicles because of that. But.
Right. Now you have a fairly new facility there. I've been watching over the years as your Subaru dealership took shape, and it's a beautiful, beautiful dealership compared to the facility that you had there before. It's absolutely great, and I'm sure you have all kinds of security systems and obviously cameras, et cetera, et cetera. Have there been any advances in the investigation? Do we have any idea who these people are?
Yeah, so we actually have like really good video of them. Obviously, they were wearing like thermal jackets and trying to disguise, but I mean, we do have some pretty good video. In one of the thefts, one of the people left they left their own personal cell phone on the seat of a car. So I mean, the word that I have is that they know who these people are, but they think it may be more of kind of like a top down that these guys are working for someone. So
yeah, it sounds like
I think it's a bit more of a grand scale than.
Okay, Kevin, you want to weigh in here?
Yeah, Devin, just along the security measures, and you kind of alluded to it. I mean, manufacturers, it's your responsibility to try and predict and get a step ahead, and thieves are becoming more and more sophisticated. So talk a little bit about the progression within Subaru vehicles and what they're doing to keep the consumer safe from having their vehicles stolen.
Yeah, so we have something in our cars. It's called My Subaru Connected Services. So there's like a vehicle locator service, and I mean, if your car was stolen or even if someone went missing, you'd be able to, contact the service help desk. And I mean, normally you have to have some kind of warrant or get something passed to be able to, have this accessible. But you're able to track the vehicle once you have that in place, and it has that within the vehicle.
What is your thinking about what they're doing with these cars? Are they shipping them overseas? To sell these cars on black markets here is kind of difficult to do, I suppose, unless it's just a cash deal. But I mean, there's serial numbers and license plates and all kinds of things to deal with. Do these cars get shipped overseas?
I mean, luckily, up until this past weekend, we haven't had anything stolen ever. But I mean, it is happening more and more, and I mean, you're seeing it on the news, and there's all these different theft rings happening. Some of these cars are showing up in Africa, and I mean, when they end up there, they're being listed online still with the Ontario plates on them. So, right. You'll never be able to get them back, but naturally, you can know from that evidence that's where they're ending up.
So what does something like this do to your insurance rates and fees as a dealership that has sometimes millions of dollars? Now, I know in this post-COVID and microchip era, car dealerships aren't as stocked as they used to be, but you still have a fair amount of product on your lot that's worth a fair bit of money. What does this do to you as a business?
I mean, we have a deductible like any individual or business. I mean, ours is more than the 500 or 1,000 that any individual would have to pay. But I mean, yes, the insurance premiums go up, but it doesn't only affect us. I mean, it's like if your basement floods, everyone within your city, their insurance premium goes up. So, I mean, it has a whole trickle-down effect, and it's going to affect us all.
Have you reevaluated some of the ways in which you operate your business to guard against something like this in the future? I don't know. It seems like you've got a pretty sophisticated place there. I don't know what you can do, because this was a pretty bold, very bold initiative to break through tempered glass into a dealership and take keys and steal a car. I mean, this is pretty bold, but is there anything you can do to change the future?
Yeah, no, good question. I mean, we, Tony from Night Watch, as soon as I got the call Sunday morning, he was here 5 minutes after I got to the store, and he spent most of the day. We're pretty much like Fort Knox, like a bank now. We have glass break sensors everywhere, motion detectors, all these things now in place. We thought what we had was good, but I mean, I guess you can never safeguard enough. I mean, the same individuals, they recently hit a car dealership in Toronto. I mean, if you saw this building, it looks like the multiplex of any car business. And they were able to take 2 cars from that facility. I think it was like 2 nights ago.
Phenomenal. Well, thanks for the information. I hope that things get sorted out and these people get caught, and it leads to somebody else, because I agree with you. It does sound like there's somebody upstairs pulling the strings, and these guys are just doing what they're told. Yeah,
no, definitely seems that way.
Yeah,
no, definitely appreciate that. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you for your contribution to the economy of our country, and I hope you get these guys, and stay safe, Devin.
Sounds good. Us too. Thank you.
Yeah, Devin Kaulback of Subaru Niagara. That's got to just piss you right off. You know, I mean, it's like anything when you get broken into. Our car, we talked about this before, and it was our fault, I guess, because we left our car unlocked on this occasion, and somebody just walks by, tries the door, opens the car, and ransacks the vehicle, and nothing really valuable was stolen, but you still feel violated. You still feel like, you know, that the shark of violence has touched your life, and it's not a good feeling.
Imagine Devin wonders, like, why me? Why Subaru of Niagara? If they're knocking off places in Toronto, why did these guys decide to target Subaru of Niagara on Lake Street? Of all the dealerships they would have passed.
And Henley Honda's right across the street.
Yeah, Hamilton, Stony Creek, Grimsby, all have car lots.
Yeah.
Why Subaru on Lake Street? And you're right. I mean, there's a bunch of other car dealerships right around there. They didn't hit multiples. They just hit that one. And it didn't seem that they were after a specific car. Like you said, they tried all the key fobs.
It was a car of opportunity.
Yeah.
They found a set of keys, clicked the thing, heard a beep, and out they went.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Anyway.
Lee, I don't think there's any thievery involved in this one, but hey, let's try and help out. What I'm guessing is a little girl, could be a little guy. I got littles, and they all have their favorite stuffies. In our house, it's a little penguin named Waddles. He's at the top of the pyramid, the stuffy pyramid.
In my grandson's house in British Columbia, he has a, I can't remember. Oh, I'm sorry, Ace, I can't remember the name of your toy, but he went crazy the other day because his mother had to wash it. We had to wash this thing. It's getting dirty, and he thought they were going to kill it. Something went crazy. So these things, you're right, they are important to little people. We're trying to locate a scuffed up gray bunny that belongs to a tiny 411er in Welland. He's had it since, what does the sign say? Since he was little, 4 years old or something?
4 months old.
4 months old. Dropped it on a walk from Church Street to Hooker Street Park in Welland. If anyone's found this little man's bunny, please comment below. He can't sleep without it, and his mom is reaching out for our help. Thanks, everyone. See, in some people's worlds, it's a $70,000 car. In other people's worlds, it's a $2 bunny. And that bunny is just as important as the car. So let's try to find the bunny.
And Lee, I mean, you look at the comments on this story, and it just sounds like every parent. I mean, luckily, we all find waddles, but I mean, look at this. All the people saying, oh.
Yeah. Ugh, I hope it's found. Last year, my son dropped his bunny at the Vineland Craft Show, and someone on this group found it and saved it for us. Our hero. But this group will definitely locate the bunny if it's around. We all know how important little ones' stuffies are to them. Ain't that the truth? Everybody coming out in support of finding the bunny. Make posters and knock out doors. Can you imagine? We see posters for lost animals all the time. Can you imagine posters for lost stuffy bunnies? Hope the bunny's found. When the same thing went the same thing with my 3-year-old grandson. Had to put him to bed with his backup bunny. A backup bunny. Here's bunny number 2.
Yeah.
But it's not the same. No, it's not.
Look at all these people. Heather, same story.
I sure hope he's found. My son lost his puppy he's had since he was 4 months at the Americana and has not been found. I feel like he's lost his innocence since it's been missing. Oh, gosh. A loss of innocence. I hope Bunny is found. My oldest, who is now 31, has her bunny, and my youngest, who is 28, has her doggy. They are special gifts given to them by family members and friends. I hope you find your child's special memory. And these things do have amazing emotional impact for people. Riley says, just got back from our walk to look for it. We weren't able to find it, unfortunately. He told me this morning, bunny outside. My daughter said he had it when we left the house, but when I took him out of the stroller at the park, he didn't have it. We're trying our best to get him to take Bunny 2.0 and hope someone contacts me. They found this old one. Thank you, everyone, for all the shares and for the ones that have been out to look. Shows true kindness in the community. That's what it's all about, finding the bunny when the bunny is gone.
And here's the first from Riley, of course, being the mom, I guess.
Oh, yes, coming back full circle. Thank you so much for sharing. I finally got him to sleep with his backup bunny, but it's nothing compared to the original. I really hope someone picked it up for us. This is the specific route we took. And there's a map, and we're going to get Google Maps in here on it. We were picked up. There it is.
There you go. So that's just on the west side of the canal and west side of the bridge in Welland, the one right on East Main. So there you go. They walked up Queen, right in front of Terrace on the water.
The bunny has to be there.
By Black Sheep
It
Roasters.
has to be there.
It's got to be there somewhere. Bunny looks
the
just
bunny
like this.
Has to be there. Until then, it remains unexplained.
I mean, gosh. We got more people stepping up to search for this bunny than we do when some people go missing.
I know we've had people go missing that fewer people have weighed in on. But animals and stuffies are sometimes more friendly than people.
Yeah, putting out a shout to Black Sheep Coffee Roasters.
Well, we know the owner of Black Sheep Coffee Roasters.
Yeah, has been on the show a couple of times.
Former councilor of the city of Welland.
Yeah, we'll see if that turns anything up. Maybe they can work through their socials. But boy, oh boy, Lee, I've been there. When we can't find that stuffy,
I know.
The world stops. So
I know.
Riley, I feel for you. My heart goes out to you, and I think you can sense it from the feeling of those comments. Everybody else, every parent stepping up and going, I've been there.
My son,
there, man.
My oldest son is, 45 years old. And when we went out to visit them, my wife took him his prized teddy bear that he had when he was So it has been returned. He's a 45-year-old man with a family, but he's got his teddy.
You don't have yours anymore, Lee?
Actually, I do. Mine was a panda. He was about yay high.
And where does Panda rest now?
Panda is actually at my sister's home
Okay.
right now because I couldn't take it with me all across the country as I traveled in my career, so it stayed in my boyhood home.
But it's still in the family, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
I got my teddy.
Yeah.
I tried to reintroduce my teddy to my son, and it was kind of rejected. So I've re-embraced my teddy.
We still have Trigger, my little plastic rocking horse, in the family today. Yeah, it's strange. It's strange how attached your memories are. Your the very essence of your being is attached to these things. Life is not the same if they go missing.
Oh yeah, there's some nervous bedtimes in our house when all of a sudden you can't find Waddles. So my advice to any parents with newborns, if you're thinking about buying them that blankie or that one stuffy that you think is going to be the one they take forever, buy two. Honestly, buy two and stock one away.
We've done that. We've purchased two. One that went to a grandchild actually in British Columbia, and then one for when they visit here, of the same thing.
That's smartly.
We do. I know it's smart, but doesn't it make you feel kind of silly? But it's not silly. It's important stuff.
It's a very real thing.
It's a very real thing. Speaking of real things, did you feel an earthquake here at all? I didn't. But this was 44 minutes ago. So it says not 44 minutes ago from today. This was posted 2 days ago. In Madison, Ohio. On the southern shore of Lake Erie is where the epicenter was, and apparently there were some people that felt the impacts here in Niagara. I did not. I don't remember at all, and I don't know anybody that did. But
So this was Sunday night, and they say here 10:43 p.m. So do you remember Sunday night?
Sunday night. I was in
falling
bed.
asleep on the couch.
I was in bed.
I was camping at Windmill Point out in Fort Erie.
Okay.
And
Well,
by
you
the
might
time-
have. You might have been somebody that would feel this thing being there.
Well, by the time 10:43 rolls around on a Sunday night, I already felt like the ground was moving.
All right. You'd been overserved, had you?
Oh yeah, definitely.
By that time, 4 point. I know it's 0, but in earthquake talk, it's 4.0 on that Richter scale thingy, which ain't too big, as they say. But I guess it's big enough to be talked about on the show. Anyway, I didn't feel a thing.
Yeah, I want to get to some of the comments here, Lee, if I can, because people felt this thing.
Yeah, some did.
Here we go.
Now, I'm not sure where all these people are. Carrie says, I felt it, thought I was going crazy. Tammy says at that time was at home off Montrose, didn't notice anything, but the train also passes beside us. May assumed it was a train. Haley says, I thought it was just a... Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Welcome to live radio and broadcasting and TV and streaming. I'm sorry. I apologize for that. Adam says, I bet they felt it in Alaska, too. Alaska? Tongue-in-cheek there, I think. Yes, we felt it in Feulled. Lindsay Duncan on a bike trip in Geneva.
She was out there in Ohio, so
Yeah.
we felt it in South Cayuga.
Clear the throat here. Shelley Shepard felt it in Niagara Falls, Silvertown area. Jen Coutu Mercer, I felt it, thought I was going crazy. Thought it was thunder. Yeah, I mean, it's something like that from so far away. It could be any kind of bump and roll.
There you go. Jen says that the house shook a bit.
Yeah. Jordan says, I felt it in Meriton. I was sitting on the couch, heard like a rattle or the cats were jumping around, but all three were in the room with me. Didn't know what it was, but now I know. In Feulled, heard what sounded like distant thunder, fireworks. I mean, this time of year,
You don't remember anything, anything?
No, in this time of year in the Niagara area, there are all kinds of fireworks and things. You can hear fireworks from the falls, for heaven's sake.
I'm wondering now, Lee, whether or not I heard it, because we were camping at Windmill Point, and I remember it was kind of cloudy, and there was a storm cell that had moved through earlier. And then at night I heard something that I thought was thunder, and thought to myself, boy, that's weird. I thought that system had kind of moved out a couple hours ago. So maybe I did hear it.
As a matter of fact, I was just going to say that probably about that time I would have been relaxing in bed, reading a book, getting ready to fall asleep, and you hear these things all the time. We have rolling thunder go through Niagara all the time. I mean, the bed didn't shake or anything. It's not like The Exorcist.
Well, Shannon's did.
I felt my bed shake. Really? In Feulled. Well, we didn't feel any of that stuff. Didn't feel it, but my china shook in my cabinet. Have you ever visited somebody, Kevin, that lives in actually an earthquake-prone area? Like California?
California. No, never have.
My wife and I have been there many times. I have family down there, and it was really a bit of a culture shock, because when we would visit, my aunt and uncle in their houses would have everything anchored to the wall. You'd have a china cabinet, and it would be like anchored into the wall, not just sitting there in the corner. Everything was anchored. They collected grandfather clocks, really expensive, tall. They had about 6 or 7 of these things. All of those anchored as about as tough into the wall as you could get. Cupboard doors were latched and locked shut because they experienced sometimes some pretty severe tremors where they lived. And I guess you have to earthquake your place. That's why most of the houses down there are stucco. They're not brick or anything like that, because stucco is easy to patch up. It cracks and you just peanut butter over it and you're done. But it's a lifestyle that you have to get used to, and we're not used to it here. I felt it in Grimsby, says Terry. I was yelling down at my husband, asking who was stomping around the house so hard.
Can't you picture yourself in that house right now?
Yeah.
Can't you put you there?
I'm trying to get to sleep. What are you doing?
Not doing anything.
I'm not. Yes, you are. I'm telling you, I'm not doing nothing. I'm not doing nothing.
Got elephants down there walking around. I can so see myself right in that house.
People are trying to sleep here.
What's he doing down there? Felt the fireman's park.
Anyway, the comments go on and on and on and on and on.
I thought my husband was losing it.
Well, maybe he was, but had nothing to do with the earthquake. Oh, gosh. Wow. Okay, coming up at about 1:15, just to let you know what's coming up in the program, we're going to be talking with a young lady by the name of Shannon Edgar. She was a long-time teacher of English, I believe, in... was it China, Kevin? It was overseas somewhere.
She was in China for more than a decade.
Yeah. And a lot of young people have taken that route to employment and experience and adventure. Shannon, one of these people. And of course, she came back here, as a lot of those people did during the COVID times. And this is what she posted and what she's doing now. She says, I am leaving my comfort zone to share this. I've been working on this project with some friends, and we're really excited and proud. I'd appreciate it so much if you would check it out, subscribe, watch the videos, etc. And she has created Shaney. Her alter ego is Shaney, and she teaches online. And there's just one example of one of her lessons there, learning the letter D, and a sing-along fun with Shaney. So we're going to bring Shannon on, and she's going to talk to us about her background, her development of Shaney and that venue, and then as we usually have, a local musician or artiste play us off the stage musically at the end of the show. We're going to have Shaney play us off the stage. So we're going to be chatting fascinating things that people are finding to do that create livelihoods for themselves. And this is one of the more entrepreneurial of those. And we'll be talking to Shannon about 1:15 or so. Kevin, there are a couple of things that we have been warned about as far as personal safety is concerned. Personal safety and keeping a hold of your own personal stuff. One of them is the fact that this old scam is going around again where City of St. Catharines warned people that nobody is going door to door on behalf of the city asking to test your water tanks. All right? Nobody anywhere is trying to test your water heater by going door to door. These people are knocking on doors. They are telling you that they are representing the city of St. Catharines or the city of Niagara Falls or wherever the heck they are. And they're there as a public service to test your water heater and make sure it's working properly. Well, that's not happening. So do not fall for that. The other one is this that you see on the screen right now, distraction thefts on the rise in Niagara. This is something that has been put out by the Niagara Regional Police. Multiple reports of this occurring at Costco in the Falls, Walmart parking lots as well the last couple of weekends. So here's what happens. Officers have said that they're seeing a rise in distraction thefts. 10 incidents have been reported. While there are some minor differences, the general steps the distraction criminals are using are similar. And here's what happens generally. Multiple suspects, anywhere between 2 and 4 people, will enter big retail stores. They will wander the store until they find a victim, often alone, older female again with a purse. The victim is followed around the store till they go to the register to pay. The suspects will surreptitiously, which means secretly, for those that don't like big words, position themselves near the point of sale. In other words, near the cash register or the self-checkout or whatever, to be able to see the victim type in their PIN for a debit or a credit card. The victim is then followed into the parking lot to their car. The suspects separate and position themselves near the car. Once the victim is seated in the car, one of the suspects approaches the car, tells the victim there's a problem that they need to see. Often the suspects will say there's a problem with the victim's car, like you got a tire running out of air or whatever. Victim will exit the car, look at the problem tire with a helpful suspect. When the victim is distracted, one of the other suspects will swoop in, enter the car from the passenger side, snatching the card or the purse and or wallet from within. The suspects leave the area and immediately try to access and pull as much money as possible from the debit or credit card. So the tips are to always be aware and vigilant of your surroundings. Use tap technology to reduce the risk of exposure. In other words, you know that card tap technology. Take steps to protect your PIN. Stand close and cover your typing hand. My wife used to work for the Royal Bank, so she can't, for years, like she will never go anywhere near a thing without her hand over top of the machine, just because she's seen fraud too many times in her own career. If a stranger comes to the car to speak to you, stay in the car, lower the window slightly, consider waiting until you're alone, or go to a safe location to assess the problem. Trust your intuition. I mean, you know. You drove in there, your car's fine. There's probably nothing wrong with the damn car. And if there is, it's probably nothing that's going to kill you till you get a chance to get home. If it feels suspicious, it may very well be. Anyone who feels they've been a victim of a distraction theft should report it to the police as soon as practicable. Anyone with information about suspects, etc., call the cops. Okay, Kevin, we just live in, and I guess, the older generation. I feel funny calling somebody an older generation, considering that I'm starting to get up there too, but I always think of an older generation as a generation older than me. You know, and maybe because I've been in the media all this time, I'm a little jaded and I don't believe or trust anybody. So, but we find that so many people are so trusting. And in a lot of cases, it's okay because your fellow man is usually trying to help you out, but all you need is that one time So, unfortunately, you have to be vigilant with everyone, not just people that.
This is brutal, though, that it's happening right here. I mean, 10 incidents reported to the NRP.
Yeah.
The Walmart in St. Catharines, not exactly sure which one, whether it's Welland, whether it's 4th Ave, but then also the Costco in Niagara Falls. And if you see some of the comments here, Lee, I mean, it tells of a deeper story here in Niagara. This is legitimately happening and affecting families and people right across the region.
There are reports of men and women dropping toonies and loonies to get your attention. Once that occurs, an accomplice will take the victim's wallet or purse from the front of the vehicle or buggy. Sometimes these people have often also taken the cars themselves. They get out of the car, somebody hops in and drives it away. Barbara says, when I go into a store where there's a buggy with a seatbelt clip for the children, I clip my purse handle through that. That's a good idea. Just in case if I take a second look at something, it'll be secure and take longer for someone to take it. And if I have a sweater or jacket, I place that over my purse so it's not visible being clipped in. Remember too, when you're unloading your cart into your car, always put your purse in first. Don't leave it in the cart. Be aware of your surroundings. Yeah.
Chris says, no, keep it on your body. That's how my mom's was stolen. Some creep distracted her to come to back of the vehicle while another one took her purse out of the front seat. So, I mean, this happened to her. And I said, hey, that's terrible. Did it happen here in Niagara? Yes, Costco.
Wow.
So this happened to Chris's
better?
Mom?
I mean, if you're a fisher person, you're going to go to the biggest lake you can find. And what bigger lake is there for retail theft than Costco if you're in the parking lot? I think changing to the tap, as you mentioned, would even be a tad easier as they don't have to remember your PIN that way. No? That's true, too.
I don't know if you can take money out with the tap, though. You know what I mean? You can spend money.
No, you can't take money. You spend it, though.
Right, you can
buy
money.
Things.
I think what they're trying to do is just trying to extract as much cash as they can rather than goods.
Yeah.
But wow.
So anyway, be on guard. This is Season 4, Episode 19 of Niagara 411 Live with Lee Sterry. We want to thank Nick once again of Niagara 411 for his partnership with us, and we share information and content, etc., with all of Nick's followers and all of our followers. So always a pleasure, Nick, to stay in touch with you. And to Nick's mom, hi as well. Hope you're having a great day and enjoy your long weekend coming up. To Niagara supporters, Gales Gas Bars Limited, thank you very, very much for your continued support as our prime sponsor here on Niagara 411 Live with Lee Sterry. Verge Insurance Brokers Limited, also a Niagara born and bred company, as is Hartzell Marine, Dave DeGrave on Ormond Street in Feulled, your Niagara Legend boat dealer, as well as Mercury Products. Thank you for coming on board. Hope you've had a great summer of boating, thanks to Hartzell Marine, and to Ace Alignment for all the things that might ail you when it comes to your vehicle, be it car, be it SUV, be it vintage vehicle or what not. Wheel alignments, brakes, suspension, etc. They're on North Street in St. Catharines. And we also thank them for coming on to join us as a sponsor a month and a half, a couple months ago now. Boy, time has gone so fast, Kevin. Where has the summer been? It's been a little damp, but we've talked about this with numerous people. And you know what? When you look at what's going on around the world, the fires in Western Canada, the unheard of rain and wind in places like Palm Springs and San Diego and the other desert places in California, floodings in eastern Canada, eastern United States. Just crazy, super extreme weather patterns that have never happened before. And I believe we count ourselves very lucky here in Niagara that we live in the moderate climate that we do. We live in this little microclimate tucked in below the escarpment between those two mighty aqua powers, Lake Erie and Lake Ontario. And boy, we escape a lot of weather disasters. We just talked about an earthquake. Yeah, okay, somebody felt something rattle, but we're not losing thousands of people because the earth splits open under our feet in Niagara the way things do in Afghanistan or China or places like that. We're blessed. We won the lottery by living here, Kevin. I really believe what we did.
I agree.
And
Love Niagara. I've been coast to coast in this country, and I wouldn't trade living in Niagara for anywhere else.
Nor I. And I've lived a lot of places across the country, and while there are beautiful places to live and I have enjoyed my life, this is still the best. As far as the extremes of climate are concerned. And I hope and pray that things moderate somewhat around the world, because it's gotten a little bit crazy to keep track of, and we're happy to live here in spite of the fact that people moan and groan about the wet summer we've had. Yeah, we've had quite a bit of rain this summer, but it sure has scooted by. It hasn't stopped us from having some fun. Kevin and his family have pretty much been living at Darien Lake, I guess, over the
we're there again last week.
Last little while. And WeeStreem, the great unsung hero of this program, Kevin Jack is the co-founder along with Brandon Scram of WeeStreem. 6 years now?
Yeah, absolutely. And on the horizon for WeeStreem, we were born in 2015, so we're into year number 8.
Hard to believe.
I know, it is hard to believe. Some of the things we're working on.
I think that's when I met you. It's like, no, I met you in like 2014, 2015.
Yeah, prior to that. We are working with a colleague of ours in Sarnia, who's a live streamer, and he does work for the Sarnia Sting, and we'll be going up to Sarnia to help them broadcast some of their preseason games.
Oh.
So, hello Niagara Ice Dogs and Darren to R. If you guys are looking for coverage of your exhibition games, especially the ones as they move around the region, and you may not have Cogeco coverage or what have you, get in touch with WeeStream, because we're going all the way to Sarnia to do
Does
that.
the Sting not have their own broadcast network?
I think they do for regular season, right? It'd be the same. They'd piggyback. They'd either have a local production company or their local cable network.
Right.
And all of that gets pushed to the paid platform for the OHL, and then all the subscribers, the Cogecos and the Bell TV and everybody else that has the OHL package.
Yeah, there was I saw a note today that the Ice Dogs are making some changes to their support staff. Laura
Lee Grappo.
Laura Lee Grappo is
gonna
going to no longer be traveling the stands.
Yeah, I saw that a couple of weeks ago. Laura Lee herself put out a comment into an Ice Dogs group saying that she's been notified. And I guess there's an article that's circulating in the last 24 hours, kind of just expanding on that Laura Lee's not going to be back, and she was with that organization for 15 or 16 years.
For a long time, yeah. Well, we wish
since its inception. So.
We wish Laura Lee Grappo all the best. You've done good work over the years. Things do change, organizations change, things happen, but good work, well done, and I'm sure you'll land on your feet doing something else you love.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope she does, Lee.
Me too.
And then on the heels of that, we're also traveling up to CFP Borden to work with our friends of the Canadian military. They'll be having their military slow pitch championships.
All right.
And Brandon and myself, along with David, our friend from Sarnia, will all be up at CFP Borden streaming some of that. And I return, I think, the Tuesday night, and we'll be back on air here at Fiddler's Poorhouse the following day. So I'll get to tell you all about my trip to Sarnia, my trip to Borden.
And you know what? The Canadian Forces bases in this country, correct me if I'm wrong, Kevin, but invariably they are the best hosts you could ever find. They'll do anything for you. The military people in this country are just awesome people, and their organizations are amazing.
100%, Lee. And there is a little bit of rigidity there. You got to follow some rules, like stand here, move there. Okay, fine. But
it's the military after all.
Exactly. You expect a little bit of that, but to be honest, it's pretty laissez-faire. If you've ever balked at the opportunity to drive through, let's say, CFP Kingston or CFP Borden, CFP Petawawa, wherever you happen to be, just cruise through there. It's really interesting to see. They're like mini cities.
They've got
bowling alleys. They've got stores. The Comrex or whatever that store is right on base is bizarre because they sell everything from like confectionery to sofas and appliances.
And what would the military be without structure and rules? I mean, that's kind of what it's all about. But because of that, they're also so incredibly professional.
Yeah,
Like
very
they
much
don't,
so.
like they don't miss a beat.
No, I mean, make sure you take your hat and jacket off if you're going into the mess hall.
Yeah,
Right? Don't miss on that one. Wash your hands first.
yeah.
Stand in line, but then once you get up there, it's like casino buffet. I mean, boy, oh boy, right? They say they march on their stomachs, and they feed their military well. And
It's
they
a
feed
good.
us well.
It is a good career. Even now, I mean, and I know that there have been some military actions overseas and around the world over the last while where Canadians have unfortunately paid the ultimate price for their service. But as a career goes, whether it becomes an overseas career, whether it becomes an in-theater career or whatever, there are great careers to be had in the Canadian military.
Yeah, very much so.
So
Great people.
if you have young people at home that are looking for something to do with their lives and they feel a little bit confused or a little bit lost, or just look into the Canadian Forces, because there are some amazing careers to be had.
No, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Absolutely right, Lee.
Yeah. So great job by WeeStream,
Thank you,
because it's something that even now, Kevin, in this advanced technological era in which we live, I don't think people really can wrap their head around what companies like yours actually do, and I think we're still in the infancy stages of
Yeah, very
something
much
big.
so. Yeah, people say, oh, what do you do? Well, we stream things.
Yeah, but what does that mean?
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's-
people ask me what I do. You're still in the media? Yes, I'm in the media. Yeah, but what do you do? Well, I host this live stream TV/live news. I have a hard time telling them what I do.
I have a hard time explaining what this thing is.
Yeah.
Well,
But-
what it is, Lee, we talk about a lot of things happening in Niagara, and we talked about the smash and grab up at Subaru Niagara, but I got to talk about this ATV thief.
Oh,
This
let's.
guy's really weird, and
this guy.
he's making the rounds. Let's take a look at him.
He seems to be making a career out of stealing stuff with his ATV. Now, here you will see a man on an ATV, and he at that moment was hauling a trailer. Well, the cops responded to a break and enter at a commercial property on Hiscott Street, near Scott, in St. Catharines. Officers spoke to the owner of the business, who indicated that the gated compound has been breached, and the suspect successfully stole a flatbed trailer. Was it his intent to steal the trailer? I don't know how people figure this stuff out. But reveal of the footage confirmed that he used an all-terrain vehicle to tow the trailer from the property. It's a 2017, as if you would know, Advantage landscape flatbed that was black in color. Value of the trailer, $8,000. This is not a small theft. This is theft over $5,000. This is it's a big deal. Officers appealing to members of the public, of course, for assistance identifying the suspect. Described the ATV red in color. Suspect believed to be wearing a blue jacket, gray helmet. Well, at least he was being safe. Area residents are asked to review their surveillance footage for suspicious activity in and around Hiscott and Scott on August the 3rd.
So, I mean, this is going back a month.
Yeah.
So I don't know why it took the police. Maybe it was an update.
Yeah, like
but the
why
first-
why is it rearing its head now? I guess maybe they just want our help.
But then you see in the comments, and this may not be so isolated. You know, they 8 comments, but, I mean, Lee, look what people are saying. Oh, you know what? I'll get to all comments. There's a little trick for people.
Yeah,
Look
do
at
all
Glenn.
comments.
Here's what Glenn says.
Looks a lot. This pair of thieves. This was last weekend. A man and a woman on ATVs. The male was in full camo. They made off with a few $1,000s of tools. Did a lot of damage to the trailer. Couldn't get in. 2 days later, a different pair returned and picked locks on several doors, trying to get into the trailer. Beware, if they break in and see something they want, they will return.
I mean, that's definitely a red ATV.
Imagine if these people used their intelligence and enthusiasm and work ethic for good instead of evil. You could probably earn an honest living if you're that smart.
And then Linda.
This is happening in Virgil as well. And there's another video. Brazen as all get out.
I'll make this video bigger for us, Lee.
But I mean, these people, Kevin, have to know that there are surveillance cameras watching them. They've got to know. Either that or you're just stupid. And I don't think they're stupid.
Yeah, but I mean, are we going to nail
what
this
are we
guy
doing?
on
What
this?
are we doing here?
It
What
looks
are
like
we-
they're panning the surveillance
He's
camera.
just
around.
taking our time.
Yeah, I think
Just
he's
taking his time to empty stuff into the recycling bin.
Well, that's the weird thing is it appears as though he recycles the stuff that he stole. So I'm assuming that he stole this trailer, and what he's doing now is he's offloading. Okay, hey, there's a dumpster. I'm going to offload some of this junk that I just stole
Taking the crap out of the...
out of the back of the trailer.
Yeah, well, I don't want that. I want the trailer, but I don't need all this stuff. But I'm not going to throw it on the side of the road. I'm going to be environmentally aware, and I'm going to go over to this dumpster.
Goes to the dumpster.
And this place, and I'm going to recycle this stuff.
Nope, I'm not going to the
Well,
dumpster.
I
with
can't go
this.
to the dumpster because this is recyclable. So I'm going to do the right thing. I'm going to put this where it's supposed to go. Well, we thank you for being a conscientious criminal, but you're a criminal. What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, Kevin, I swear to God. My head hurts when I roll these things around. I'm not a bad guy. Look, I'm environmentally conscious. I just needed the damn trailer, okay? I needed the trailer. I know it's not mine, but I needed the trailer.
And now, while we're at it, hey, is that a sheet of plywood?
Well, look at that. I
use
I
that.
need the I need the plywood. Now that I need.
I mean, with the price of plywood these days, that's
Woo.
currency.
Heaven knows.
I keep telling my neighbor he's showing off because he's got a piece of plywood in his garage. No, you're just showing everybody
Hey,
what you got.
this
That's
coming
just-
from somebody that just built a 30,000 square foot deck of wood.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's fair. Of composite, most of it compositely.
Well, still,
Yeah, at least it's to good use.
it's wood based.
It's large. And I mean, back to
Oh man.
back to the original guy there. So
I
the
know,
cops are
I know,
looking for
I
this
know.
guy.
I know we are being a bit facetious here, but don't you get the absurdity of all this? It is absurd what's going on. ATVs to steal trailers and stuff, but then what's in the trailer you don't want, so you recycle conscientiously, I might add.
It's so bizarre. So bizarre. Lee,
Man.
we're going to get to Shannon, a.k.a. Shaney, here in just a minute.
All right.
But they've got just as far as, we're doing the crime unit, out in Niagara-on-the-Lake, there was, a bank robbery, and they just upped the reward. It's pretty
A
significant.
credit union, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Meridian?
There you go.
I don't know what they got in their first robbery, but it must have been something. So, Meridian Credit Union, Portage Road, City of Niagara Falls. This has been updated regarding the armed robbery that occurred. The initial investigation determined the two male suspects entered the bank, brandished a handgun, demanded cash. Suspects received an undisclosed, amount of cash, as they say. No employees were injured or whatever, but these things are traumatic. Mentally, it has to affect you. I know it does. The Meridian Credit Union has increased the reward from $30,000 to $50,000 for information that leads to the arrest and convicting of the persons responsible. Now, Kevin, here it started out at 15, I think, when they first put the reward out there. I think it was 15,000. Here's my question to you, Kevin, that I'd kind of like your feedback on it. It's only conjecture. Kevin keeps putting pictures up of the people that. And why would you wear something with a logo on it? I mean, it says berries on it, or it says Barry, or something like that. At least the other one was smart enough to wear something that didn't have a logo on it. Like, you too stupid to live, or what? Anyway, if you're going to be a criminal, at least try to be a smart one. Don't be stupid. Kevin, what gets me with these things is, why do they bother to break into places that they know they're going to be seen and seen clearly? We have complained so many times about the quality of surveillance cameras in businesses. That's a pretty darn clear camera shot right there. So kudos to the Meridian Credit Union for that. The other thing I want to ask you is, do you think that they actually stole that much money, or is the credit union just trying to make an example?
I don't think that you put up a reward for more than what was stolen. I mean, that would be a rule of thumb,
So could
right?
they have actually walked into a branch of the Meridian Credit Union and stolen more than $50,000?
That's my guess.
I don't even think these financial institutions had that much readily available.
I didn't think so. I thought you could walk out with maybe, I don't know, $1,000, $2,000, and then doesn't the die pack explode all over you or something?
But those are the old days. Those are the days
I know.
when, like I said, my wife had a 25, 30-year career with the Royal Bank going back a lot of years when you had actually cash drawers, etc. Then they moved from having cash drawers to a central cash area. They called it the cage. And my wife worked in there, where those are the people that actually have access to the cage. The tellers or customer service reps, whatever you want to call them, they don't necessarily have access to cash. You can't walk in and say, give me your dough, and have somebody hand it to you. That doesn't happen anymore. So if you were to walk into a credit union like this, how do you walk out? How do you actually walk out with more than $50,000? There's something I'm missing. Either they knew something, or they knew where some money was, or they accessed it from somewhere else, or the company is just trying to make an example of these people and say, you rob us, I don't care how much it costs us, we're going to get you.
Gonna get you.
And I don't care if you only stole 10 grand or 5 grand or 2 grand, we're going to pay 50 to get you.
Get you.
Gotcha. And I just wish I knew which one it was, because it just is a $50,000 reward for a bank robbery these days sounds excessive to me. Even 30 sounds excessive to me. Anyway, joining us on the program is Shannon Edgar. Kevin and I met Shannon in this very pub. I don't know, over a year ago, I guess it was. Shannon was having lunch with her dad here at the restaurant. We were having a chat, and Shannon is joining us now. Hi, Shannon. I don't want to talk about you till I say hi. Hi.
Hi, nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. Now, when we met you, Kevin and I, you had just returned from overseas where you were teaching, right?
Yes, I was in Shanghai, and I had just come back. I was just fresh back to Canada when I met with you guys, or when I met you
now,
there.
did you come back? How long had you been over there? Tell us your story. Walk us through.
Okay, so I went over in 2010, and I had been there for about 12 and a half years.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure how much you guys heard about the lockdown that Shanghai had.
A little bit.
But yeah, so I came home during that. Like, I was, I guess, on almost a day 59 of lockdown when I decided.
Now, this was COVID
time
related, wasn't
it? Sorry, can you say that again?
Was it COVID? This was COVID related.
Yes, sorry, yes, it was COVID related. Yeah. China had done a pretty good job at, keeping things at bay for a long time, and once it hit there, it just spread like wildfire, and they shut everything down. So it was pretty intense, and just decided it was time to come back to Canada.
Right. All right. Now, that was what year?
Oh, that was last summer I came home.
That was just last year you came home. All right. So now you've got to think about what you're going to do.
Exactly.
And what did you do?
So because I had been teaching there for so long, and during the pandemic, when we went to online teaching, I kind of thought that there was a need. I was having trouble finding the exact right content that I needed for teaching online. And teaching in person is so much easier. And I just thought, you know what, I think I can make that content. So I started working on my Fun with Shaney program that I'm doing now.
It's called Fun with Shaney?
Fun with Shaney, yep. So Shaney is my childhood nickname from my dad and my grandpa, my uncles and aunts, everyone calls me Shaney. So
Okay.
I just thought it would be a good name to use because it's cute, and I already answered to it.
And you're obviously in costume as Shaney now, right?
Yes. Hmm.
Okay, so what was your goal? What was your concept behind creating Fun with Shaney?
Well, I just thought that I saw a little bit of a hole in the videos that I was actually searching for and the content.
Yeah.
And I thought, you know what? If I can make some videos myself that are fun for kids and help kids learn, but also help teachers, then I thought that that would be a really good idea. And two of my friends own Bright Sky Studios. So we had got to chatting one day, and I told them, you know, I've been thinking about this. And they said, well, we think that's a great idea. We could help you out with it. So we decided to collaborate.
Now, while you're on talking with me right now, we are airing some segments of your videos just so that people can see what it is you do. And these are available through YouTube, is that correct?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you have your own channel.
Yes, it's called Fun with Shaney. Yeah.
Shaney, Fun with Shaney.
Yeah.
Okay. And it strikes me when I watch some of the vignettes, it's a little bit like it's a little bit Sesame Street like in a way.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see the comparison. You know, for the character Shaney, for me teaching, that's basically exactly how I was when I taught my students.
Okay.
So it was really easy for me to just kind of keep my same energy level and put it to a costume.
So tell us about Shaney as an alter ego here. What kind of world who is Shaney? What world does she live in? Who is she? What's she all about?
Okay, Shaney is a very positive person. I'm trying to create a safe space where kids can learn, make mistakes, and have fun while they're doing it. I want them to just be excited to, when they hear my music come on, see the videos, and basically, like, the way that I look at it is, I have a lot of friends that are teachers, and I've told them, tell me what content you want, and I will help you. I'll help you out with that. See if I can make it.
Yeah. So you have teachers that are in the business, kind of giving you an idea for content as you go.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
And I know you've done letters. Like we're gonna see what letter did we pick up. And I think to play us off the stage today, we're going to use one of your videos all about the letter B. Is that right, Kev? Yeah.
Absolutely.
We're gonna use your show about the letter B.
Great.
And do you write all this and yourself?
Yeah, I wrote all of the songs. Yep. Took me a really long time, but I think they turned out really well, and I'm really, really excited about them.
Well, it looks really professionally done with the various graphics and the things that come in and out of the screen and whatnot. You must really enjoy the function of teaching or the theory of teaching.
I absolutely love it. I love teaching. I love kids. It's just so much fun. And so I was, you know, if I can just keep doing this kind of thing forever, then I will be happy all the time.
Okay, now let me ask you the question that's probably lurking in the back of everybody's mind, and I know it's a personal question, but we're in the world, you know. Are you making any money at this?
Well, to be honest, not yet, but I think that it will be pretty successful. Right now, I'm basically putting all of my time into it, and so are my friends. And as you just said, it's pretty. They're doing a pretty good job. They're very talented.
Yeah. How do you go about? A lot of people know this, but I'm still sort of in that murky world of people that aren't quite sure how folks that do things on YouTube, etc., make a living. How do you progress from what you obviously have created here, which is a really nice character and it's a really cool concept. How do you go about monetizing an initiative like this?
By getting people to view it, to share it, to like it. The more that you do that, when people are searching keywords for finding videos and stuff, you'll slowly rise to the top. So I think that basically it's just continuing to put out content,
right,
continuing to share it, and keeping at it.
Now, do you have a website and Facebook presence as well for Fun with Shaney?
We have an Instagram too.
Okay.
Instagram and YouTube so far.
And how many episodes do you do? How often do you do a new episode?
It should be putting at least one up every week now.
Okay. And all of those episodes are archived as well, I'm sure. So if you go to your channel, you can see everything from episode 1 up to present day.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. Just like here on our show. What kind of feedback have you received so far?
Everybody's really excited about it. I think that people were surprised. I have kind of kept it a little bit of a secret while I've been working on it.
Well, don't do that anymore.
No, not anymore. It's definitely out there for the world to see now.
I'm looking at a shot right now, and there's a nice castle behind you. Is that Shaney's home? Is the castle where Shaney lives?
No.
No?
But I never, you know what? Maybe.
As the character evolves, right?
Yeah, you could create a whole cast of Shaney characters that live in your castle there.
Yeah, they can all be living there. That's a good idea. Thank you.
Well, congratulations on a really creative way to give back and to reinvent yourself, because an awful lot of people, such as yourself, lost opportunities when this COVID debacle went sweeping around the world, and those days may never come back the way they were before.
Exactly. First of all, thank you for congratulating me, and also that's basically what I was trying to do, is kind of take something that was negative and turn it into a positive.
Mm-hmm. Well, it sure looks.
So I'm really excited.
It sure looks like you've done that, and like I said, what we're going to do is now I'm assuming if you just go to YouTube and search "Fun with Shaney," your channel will come up.
Yes, it will.
Or even probably if you type in Shaney, it would probably come up. But anyway, we're going to, as I promised, we're going to use one of your videos and one of your songs to play us off the stage here, so people can get a really good beginning to end sense of what it is you do. It's a brilliant endeavor. I'm so pleased that you could join us. I'm glad we ran into you in the restaurant there over a year ago. And
yeah, me too.
Yeah, and keep us posted on how you're doing. Stay in touch with us, all right?
I will. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
All right, Fun with Shaney's Shannon Edgar, ladies and gentlemen. And Kevin, thank you once again for producing the program. It's always a pleasure to work with you and WeeStream. Also to Gales Gas Bars, Verge Insurance, Hartzell Marine, Ace Alignment, and Beau Chapeau Hat Shop. This hour and a half has flown by, and we're going to bring you Fun with Shaney and the letter B. Have a great week.
Let's do it! In the land of letter B, our adventure has begun. We'll learn the letter B while we have a lot of fun. The sound that B makes, it's really quite neat. Let's sing about the words with B that we meet. Ba-ba-ba, that's the sound that B makes. We hear it in words that we use every day. Ba-ba-ba, that's the sound that B makes. We hear it in words that we use every day. Bouncing balls up and down. Ba-ba-ba, it's such a cool sound. A big brown bear living in the woods. That ba-ba sounds oh so good. Ba-ba-ba, that's the sound the bee makes. We hear it in words that we use every day. Ba-ba-ba, that's the sound the bee makes. We hear it in words that we use every day. Let's build a boat, set sail on the bay. With the ba-ba sound, we'll be on our way. Bright butterflies floating with grace, bouncing and bobbing, a beautiful day. Ba-ba-ba, that's the sound the bee makes. We hear it in words that we use every day. Ba-ba-ba, that's the sound the bee makes. We hear it in words that we use every day. Bumblebee, bubble, and breeze. Bee words make us feel at ease. Ball, bat, bike, bird, and book. Bee words, let's take a look. In the land of letter B, our journey now ends. Come back for more adventures with Shaney again. Shaney again. Shaney again.